we're going to have one more
13%.
of these dangerous areas bay at 13%.
Nice bait on the Glacial Rays, dodge them to the away from the way that they slowly pan out from their origin points.
This is the moment that gets really scary here. If they're able to get through this
Sub
pressure,
10%.
they already
the
had the Spirit
Link
Link
totem.
The Spirit Link is going to be going
Eliao
out.
goes down. The Orb of Frost is out. They are not going to soak it.
Wait, this is huge. This is one of the best pulls that we've seen so far. We have another tank going down.
6.4,
This could be enough.
Under 6%. Do we see the RP?
Oh my goodness! Yes! Method is able to do it! They use the same strategy that they've been using, but this time perfect links, perfect cooldown usage, and there it is! You have the world first kill going the way of Method!
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Epic Fail, episode 180. What a week this has been. Holy crap. We'll get into all that fun stuff here momentarily. I would normally try to have a witty intro of some sort, but it's been busy all around, and I just want to get to my co-host this week. I mean, yeah, we've got Galv again. I know you're not excited about that. I don't blame you. But to make up for that, we have someone extra special. If you're here for the pre-show, you know who that is.
Wait, your intros are supposed to be witty?
Well, I mean, witty for, like, a not-so-witty person.
But you're talking about Galv, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, him too. If I was going to give a witty intro... Yeah, if I was going to do a witty intro for Galv, it'd probably take me a good 20 minutes to do. That way, whenever we actually get to the show, it can only be a 5-minute show. Because that's how his boss strategies work. It takes about 45 minutes to do the boss strategy discussion, and then it's about 5 minutes to do the boss fight.
So, Theory, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. I do have one question before we get going, Galv. And I know you have it. I just don't know if you still have it right there with you. The item that we could the three of us could see, but chat couldn't see.
Is it
involves
the item that Theory forbids I put on screen?
I have no idea if he forbids or not, but probably.
Is it my mask of coin of many faces? Commemorating what was it, a hurricane? Is that why I made that?
I think that was part of it, yeah.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
He's a Highlander.
Yeah, so. I think a hurricane took out Theory for an extended period of time, and so I had to fill in for a while.
Yeah, I still haven't managed to get rid of it.
It's kind of becoming a thing, right? Like I disappeared for a month and a half or something during the hurricane, and then I from the internet have disappeared for almost 3 months this time. And hey,
well, I'm glad you're back. You found a really good time to jump in on the raid too.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were probably going to talk about it, but I happened to rejoin the raid team just in time to kill the last boss. I haven't done most of the rest of them, but I have killed the last boss. So hey,
that's amazing. I love the fact that we just randomly decide, we're just going to go ahead and extend the lockout and put some attempts in on the last boss. Theory joins, gets the last boss kill, has not seen any of the other fights at all.
Nope, not one.
And
then I get the first 2 bosses on Heroic on the same night. So I've done the first 2 on Heroic, only Jaina on normal, and good to be back.
When did you ding 120?
Okay, so this is a long story.
Okay.
This character was actually the... probably not. Let's just do this. This character that I'm playing right now, which is a demon hunter, is actually the second character I had to ding 120.
Really?
Yeah, so when I first was leveling, I was going warrior. I hit 120 on the warrior, really wasn't liking it too much. Started leveling the demon hunter, hit 120 on that one, and then like right after I hit 120, because a bunch of other people on our raid team had switched tunes and classes that they were playing and roles, it was going to be better for me to roll a tank. So, and because the tank composition, Wade at the time was still doing a Blood Death Knight, so it made more sense for me to actually level the Paladin. So I leveled the Paladin. Paladin was literally third, I believe, and because of that, I really have had this character just chilling for a while now. Since I basically took a involuntary 3-month hiatus, is what I'm calling it. The raid team, thankfully, still invited me back, but of course they had to kind of fill the roles, and we've got a couple different people that have kind of tanked in my absence. So I'm coming back on really shady internet. 6 megs down, used to be 100, because of the new place that I'm living. So it really wouldn't make sense for me to tank on shady internet. So it definitely made more sense for me to roll DPS, which is I did.
I'm going to chime in here real quick. Whenever I was on my Death Knight as a tank, which wasn't usually for the raid team, every now and then I'd jump in, my internet speed at the time was 10 down at best. I've since been able to upgrade due to reasons.
Yeah.
Internet difficulty, huh?
I think the line to really be reliable for Warcraft rating is probably about 4.5. If you have more than 4.5, you're probably fine. If you have less than that, you're going to have a bad time. When I first moved into the new house that I'm in now, I only had 3. And that lasted about a month. And then they said, oh, you can get 20. So I called to get the 20, and then come to find out, no 20. But I can have 6 for the same price as 3. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And it seems to be working pretty good. I have ping times that are a little higher than they used to be. They're usually around like 100, or before I was below 50. But I mean, for some people, 100 is good. So I'll take it. And I haven't really had DC issues, although I have seen a little lag here and there, but it's not too bad. But when it comes to raiding, especially for somebody who's been a raid leader before and has kind of dealt with issues with the team, you never want to be the reason that the team has issues. So for that point, it definitely makes more sense for me to be DPS, at least for right now. Plus, we have some really good tanks. So let's let them tank. And if I have issues, I can just drop, and it's no big deal.
So 2 things. One is, I'm curious if you're going to buck your conventional strategies and rename one of your tanks Shady Internet, so that you can tank on Shady Internet. And
maybe
the other one was it was pretty good. See, you bust out the Demon Hunter, and I was going to say, if any class feels like you're playing on the Super Nintendo, it's that one. So they're definitely fun to play on a moment's notice. Plus, if you're lagging out, no one can tell. They figure you just hit rush or something and jumped like in 2 places at once. So
he's on to me, internet. He figured out the reason why I'm playing a Demon Hunter. That's it.
As someone who has more than one Demon Hunter, you can pretty much AFK and catch up on your DPS fairly quickly if it's an AoE pull.
Oh, yeah. And that's the other reason that I really wanted to do Demon Hunter, is because it's fun and it puts out good numbers without really knowing what you're doing. So that's a win.
Yeah,
so I'm still learning the class, to be honest. So for me, it was important to get something that could not be a anchor to the rest of the team and still kind of be useful. What are you playing, Galv? Is that a Switch? That's
yeah,
okay.
It's a Switch remote.
No, I've noticed that on my Demon Hunter versus my Paladin, I've got at least about a 10 item level difference, and my Demon Hunter puts out very similar numbers overall. So I'm like, for the betterment of the raid, I should probably switch, but at the same time, Lay on Hands has literally saved the raid at least once this particular month, and...
Well, plus you and what we have, one other pretty decent ret between the 2 of you guys. I think there's 2, maybe there's 3.
There's 3 of us, and it varies. They have bigger bursts at the start than me, but at the same time, my DPS just climbs because I use a different build than they do, apparently, which I did switch up earlier today, so I got to test that out. But
Yeah, hopefully some of your 10, 15, 20 item level upgrades are actually equipable this week.
I'll get into that a little later, but it is now equipped.
Gotcha. Well, good.
It
It's
was
amazing he has
point
any
one.
backspace at all at this point.
I literally just scrapped 30 pieces earlier today.
He's like when you buy your daughters that magnetic tin of like doll clothes where it's like it's got the cutouts, looks like the cutout people, and you just have magnets of clothes to stick on, and you open up that tin and it's like a book, but obviously inside it's a metal that you can just stick all the magnets to. His bags are just like, let's swap all these clothings around, let's just stick on 2 breastplates and see what that sims out to be.
I have a hard enough time with like maybe 10 extra pieces of gear in my bags, not filling my bags up every time I do one quest. I don't know how Murder does it. It just doesn't make sense. Draven, Murder, Draven.
Whatever. At this point, I literally, if it was not 375 or higher, and even then, that was kind of pushing the low end. If it was lower than that, it was gone, with the exception of trinkets, just because sometimes trinkets get super powerful because of weird reasons. And then with the Azurite armor pieces and stuff like that.
I got. I'll get into it later on tank builds theory, but I ended up with back-to-back Breath of One Somdies, and I'm having a hard time figuring out if benching my Dark Moon deck, which is 20 or 40 eye levels lower, is
No.
good or bad.
I'll tell you right now, the Dark Moon decks, the tank one was never really considered to be great, except for blood. But the DPS Dark Moon decks have fallen off of all the guides, and I don't know why.
Except for Rets, because it's still my second best trinket.
I don't get it. It still puts out good numbers. So like I have that on the Demon Hunter still because I haven't gotten anything better. But like I was just going through trying to learn the class like everybody does, looking things up, and it did not have it on the list at all. And I was like, okay, wait a second.
It's weird for different classes, but I know in my case I've got 4 385 trinkets. I can't use any of them because of that one, and then I've got a 375 with a socket or something, and it's like
like your binky, man.
I mean, I just can't get rid of it. Maybe they'll let me upgrade it, and then I can just keep it all expansion.
Or it could be his blanket.
His nookie blanket.
Yeah, that's the nookie blanket.
So,
anyway,
we got a couple of gems coming through here on the show notes.
Yeah, we got a couple interesting things. So we might as well go ahead and. We didn't really all talk about what we did this week, but I mean, if we want to cover that real quick.
Well, I mean, Theory, you're the guest. Tell us all about you.
Well, I pretty much already talked about it. I raided for the first time in forever and killed the last boss. And then 2 heroic bosses with the team. Have gone up about 30 item levels in a week, thanks to some of the catch-up mechanics on that tune that I'm raiding with. I still am struggling a bit with what to do once I've done all the quests and things like that. So it's kind of weird, but because of the fact he was so undergeared, I've had plenty. However, other than that, I'm in the new house, getting the house set up, getting gaming room set up. But for me, it's really kind of just been trying to get caught up.
And I asked this earlier, and then we got sidetracked. When did you actually ding that character? Before you went into the raid?
It was the second 120 that I dinged on. So like 3 weeks after the expansion came out.
And you just hadn't touched
sitting
it.
collecting dust. Okay. Yeah, it literally I did a little bit of questing on it and then switched to the.
So it's been like pulling a stint as your mule for the auction house for a while.
Kind of. I for a while was using it to make Dark Moon decks. So I was sending it herbs and making Dark Moon decks, but that.
Okay. Well, the reason I was asking was I know when I dinged my more recent Demon Hunter from 120, it took me all of a week to get to like 380. Admittedly, It happened the week that the Alliance side had go kill 25 Alliance, or go kill 25 Horde, here's a piece of 400 gear. And we had 4 of those quests overall since then. Not of that particular quest, but of that level of gear. So that helped between time walking
Yeah,
and PvP stuff.
I didn't get that quest on this character when it was 400. I
Yeah.
got that quest the day after everything reset, and it was 385 before the quest went away. So, like, you remember we were talking, and somebody that we know, Miss World Killer herself, got the quest the second time, and everybody else is like, "How did she get the quest? We don't have the quest. How'd you get it?" Well, I got it too, but it was 385, and I didn't complete it. It's still in my quest log.
It'd be a nice little upgrade because it can be Azerite gear or even weapons. So it could
Yeah, that's why I didn't,
anything that drops
get
out of
rid
the
it.
raid. Yeah, I would complete it before Tuesday because I have a pretty strong suspicion that it's gonna get another one.
Another nerf? How dare?
No,
Quest.
not another nerf. That quest will pop up again
Oh, gotcha.
because it's based off of percentage of how much Horde versus Alliance or War mode, and I just have this sneaking feeling it's going to be week on, week off, week on, week off. Alliance
Would
turning
make
on
sense.
Alliance are turning on War mode just for this quest. Shocking.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, and then when the quest doesn't pop again, oh well, War mode off.
I was in War
I could see
mode.
Horde doing that in Retaliation as well. If they hadn't changed it from 400, I could see all the Horde just turning War mode off, just to give the entire Alliance the bird.
Yeah.
And say nope.
Yeah,
There-
the weeks that we have
there's
that quest, they just turn it off.
There's too many of them that are just so hardwired to gank the Alliance, though.
To be fair, both sides are doing that.
But
I'm in multiple guilds, and both of them are complaining about the death ball groups of the other faction, and I was like, it's happening all over. There is obviously more Horde than Alliance. Otherwise, Blizzard would not have put this quest in for the Alliance.
Every server I
There's-
play on, it's the other way.
it's different depending upon what battle group you're in. But I would say for the most part, Horde does outnumber Alliance in most of the battle groups. But I mean, it makes sense. There's so much bias between the races, with the racials and things like that, and the raid teams. I mean, obviously, when you look at the top raid teams, there's like 2 in the top 30 that are Alliance or something like that. So like, there's lots of reasons to point at some Horde and Alliance hate for sure. But if you told Thist, hey Thist, why don't you turn off war mode so that no Alliance can get their 400 this week? I'm pretty sure she'd do it.
I think this would go off War mode just to starve the Alliance players.
Yes.
If she knew that a lot of other Horde people would do it, she might.
Yes, I mean, that's the thing, is she'd have to convince everyone to do it, but she's got a pretty strong following. She could be the one that could spark that.
Yeah,
Well,
that would be amusing.
It
It would be annoying for an Alliance player, but it would be amusing as someone with Horde alts also.
Well, when I did that quest on both my raiding characters, one of them was straight through Dazzlor. So the Alliance like swept in waves through the city, wiping out Horde.
Yeah, it's because of these quests. The PvP
Well, right, I'm
quests,
just saying
yeah.
that
They're not doing it just cause.
Right, the Horde weren't just like in war mode, passively out collecting world quests. They were like in their home city thinking they were like generically safe, and like the army of lemmings would just come sweeping through and murder everyone.
Yeah, it's just a weird. It's just a strange
Borealis
placement. Yeah, Borealis is
by a
one of those
horde.
things that it's harder for the Horde to get into. Like, I mean, you can get into it, but it's harder for them to come in and farm on a fairly decent basis because all our stuff is closer to the middle of the city, whereas the Horde's boat table thing is there at the tip, and you can just literally.
We went from the bottom where the boats were all the way to the top of the pyramid and back.
Oh yeah, I mean that's going to happen too, but
Murder, death, kill.
yeah.
Anyway,
You guys with your bottoms and tips. Allie just said she thinks that Thist would miss the taste of Alliance tears, and I agree.
She's got a stockpile.
She does. And if she knew that all the Alliance would cry because they couldn't complete their quest, instead of just making the ones that she killed cry, she could make all of them cry. I'm pretty sure she'd be cool with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
we'll have to spin that one to her later. See
Yeah.
what happens.
yeah, we should probably get to the news because I did tell Galv's girlfriend hour to an hour and a half.
Let's get down to what?
We could get down to what we'll call the brass tack because that's what I put in the show notes.
There you go.
So this is weird. We don't know how much of this is going to affect Blizzard specifically, but the TLDR version of this article, which I'll link in the show notes, is there's a Swedish company who is not happy, the tax agency. They're not happy that King, which is the people who did Candy Crush, is apparently no longer a Swedish company. And if they were, they could tax X amount of dollars per year. So instead, they're saying, hey, we want this huge lump sum, which is about $55 million per year. It's $3.4 billion total is what they're asking, I think, right now.
Right. So, in the world of high finance, just like Florida and New York have issues. There was 4 or 6 people from Sweden and 2 from Britain that started the King company, as it were, and they eventually create a spin-off in Malta. And so they were trying to say that Malta is where all of at least 10% or more of the revenue is coming from their spin-off in Malta. So that they could avoid, worldwide high tax rates in Sweden or Britain, to a lesser degree. In Sweden, just like people who, let's say, worked in New York but lived in Florida, like personalities on TV or radio or whatnot, had to fight really hard to try to figure out how they could not get taxed in New York because New York says, well, you made the money here, you owe it here, even if you don't live here, kind of thing. This is what Sweden's going at. The Skatteverket does not share their view on how to price King's business in a correct and fair way. So, big liability.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of a difference. I mean, you've got all the basics down, but the difference is the fact that they made an internet game that can be played anywhere by anyone, and once their headquarters is no longer in Sweden, then, in my opinion, Sweden gets nothing. Now, wherever their headquarters are, that's where those taxes should be paid. But I can see them being a little butthurt by their cash cow getting bought out and moved somewhere else. Yep. But they, according to the article, went on to the stock exchange in 2014. And if we're selling their stock in the U.S. in 2014, how can Sweden claim anything in 2018?
The question of merit is definitely one that's up in the air. But when you have a sovereign country like that going, full artillery on a company for finances, they get a long reach. Question is, will there be any body of courts or whatnot that will overrule Sweden?
Yeah. I think this is what Blizzard should do. They should come out with a new mount. It should be called the Swedish Fish. It should look like a Swedish Fish, the candy. They should sell it for the normal $25, and then just give them all the money from the mount and be like, "This is the last time we're giving you anything. Bye."
Yeah, well, it's higher than just plain Blizzard. It's all of Activision.
It's a salty Swedish fish.
It can only swim in in-game saltwater. Otherwise, you can't use it.
Oh, brutal.
And then they're gonna be like, "Yeah, everywhere is freshwater. It's just a mount you can't use anywhere."
And it could drop little candies behind it as you ride it in the water.
And if you ride over the candies, you smash them.
No. If you ride it,
it's Candy Crush.
It's Candy Crush.
All right, this is a great idea. All right,
If
somebody
you
tell
ride
Lore-
over the
and-
candy, you automatically stop, mounted or not. You dismount, and you pick it up and go, "Ooh, piece of candy."
It's awesome.
I think when you hit the space bar, instead of rearing up, it opens its mouth and you get like sound clips from the Swedish Chef from the Muppets.
Yeah,
This is the winning idea. They should do it.
it would be amusing as long as there was somewhere that you could actually use the fish as the mount.
Okay,
my
so when
idea
it's
of
not in
everywhere-
the water,
Yeah.
part of the dropping candy could be that it flops on the ground like it's a dead Swedish fish, and that could be where the candy coming out of it.
I'm totally
Somebody
clipping
Tell
this.
Howland, somebody tell Ian.
I am totally clipping this and sending it to
All right,
Blizzard
Blizzard.
just to see if they'll do it.
We got you covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be that. You sell so many of that mount that
Is-
the three whatever
yeah.
it is, $370 million would be no big deal.
Yeah,
Right.
it'll still be a big deal, but it will be less of a big deal.
Give it have it in Heroes of the Storm. Same thing. You can do this cross game. Sell it in Heroes of the Storm, and but you don't get to pick which direction it flops on land. So your guy just flops around.
Don't know if that would work out very well, but
See,
it'd be amusing.
Alejandris is totally on it. Swedish Chef, she's in.
Yeah,
So-
that would be.
I would buy it.
Yeah, that would be a. I don't know if I would buy it for that, but that would make me really want it more. Anyway, so yeah, it's not 100% Blizzard related, but it's Activision Blizzard, so it kind of affects Blizzard anyway, whether they want it to or not. But to me, it just reads as the government over there is like, you're not giving us money. Give us a lot of money, and we'll leave you alone. It's just a cash grab.
That's what governments do.
Whether it's a legal cash grab or not, it's still just a plain cash grab. There is another piece that I did not put in the notes, simply because I want to wait till Tuesday to find out what's happening, but it does involve the employee situation.
Okay.
There's a couple reports out there saying Tuesday that Activision Blizzard's losing 200 people.
Just to pay Sweden. No,
Maybe.
I don't know if it's delayed.
Maybe.
But
Blame
get that mount
Sweden.
out quick.
Yeah,
That's right.
blame Sweden on the amount thing, on the employee thing. No, it's one of those things where it is news. Possibly, it's still rumor. Technically, we'll know on Tuesday, so it'll be in the show next week.
I'm
If
so much happy to report on this story than the one that we skipped reporting on last week.
Yeah.
This is a much better story.
Yeah.
With the Swedish Chef
Yeah.
smashing of candies.
Anyway, moving on, because I don't want to dwell on the whole employee thing very long, because we don't have a lot of details anyway. Delta news is there's nothing new.
I think
Shocking. StarCraft news. There's some tournaments going on.
there is another little nugget.
Go ahead.
Alessander sent out an article on AIs are now playing Pictionary to figure out how the world. So now this is a spin-off of some of the news that we reported on a week or 2 weeks ago with Deep Blue's system, which was called DeepMind, the AI they used for StarCraft. So they're building one. They're building an AI that's supposed to use Pictionary online that you can log on and play against the computer, and it's going to use Pictionary as an AI, and it mentions StarCraft and Go, because chess and Go were very first gen AI against people things, and StarCraft is much more robust. So the Pictionary one, they're saying, is going to be the next big bridge for teaching computers context. So the game is called Iconary. So Icon ARY. You can look it up out there, but the whole point is that this is the step after StarCraft that's splashing around in AI news. So there you go. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. So not a whole lot StarCraft related. There is actually Heroes stuff related, which is kind of strange, but there it is. Apparently there was a leak on the next hero, Whether this ends up being true or not, we don't know, but it looks like it might possibly be Anduin. And we're kind of figuring like a disc priest type situation.
You think?
Well, if he's a disc priest, he's sure got a big sword in that picture.
Right?
Well, it's for the auto attacks. Because he's actually, yeah. He's got technically variant sword, so he would have a big sword just because.
Get it. Yeah, one of the pictures, by the way, that we're looking at for this, the sword is like bright red, and it does not look anything like Varian's sword. He's kind of holding it behind him. I don't know. Plus, it's like futuristic with the things on his face. Is he like cyborg?
It's
like
a couple of different skins.
Skin looking.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to go for. I forget what 76's original name is, but his commander outfit with Anduin wearing it is what it's looking like.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It looks like there's a couple of skins in there. So.
What's the one with the Batman mask supposed to be?
He might be Robin. Maybe there's like a moody version of Anduin, and then like King Varian gets the Batman version, so you can play them together. And Jeepers, Anduin.
They totally need to do a Scooby and Shaggy and all of them skins.
That would be pretty good.
Not for those two in particular, just in general. But yeah, we don't know for sure, but it appears that it's going to be Anduin. At least that's the ongoing rumor. And then KO, I think is how you say his name, gave us a nice huge wall of text saying we're going to change some stuff and keep going and on with the game. Like gold can get turned into shards, so you can craft stuff. Everything is going to be craftable, even the gem only stuff will eventually be craftable, which is great. And it's going to not be these are only available through gems. They're probably going to have a time limit on the gem thing, and then eventually individual skins will be craftable through that again. So that'll be nice. But that would require playing the game, which, judging by the numbers, less people are doing now, including me. I haven't touched the game, and I think I've logged in twice since December.
Since the announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't had the time, and then when I have had the time, I've been putting my efforts into other games like WoW and Overwatch, and just keeping up on other things that aren't always Blizzard related, but in general. And then you got people like Wicked Kitten who's like, I'm just going to keep playing the game anyway. And that's great.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I always enjoy playing Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the game. It's just after the announcement, my will to play it went from, I want to play, to, I might play it again eventually.
Yep, I feel that.
Yeah, I think I logged in since then. Did they put out a hero since then? I don't think they have.
The Orphan Annie.
After her.
Was
she the most recent?
That it was her. BlizzCon, Orphan Annie, this announcement.
And
nothing I can recall.
Yeah, okay. So, it's just a matter of, where you want to put your time and when you have it. Imperius. Yeah, Imperius has come out. I did log in long enough to buy him with gold. But he's I haven't really put any time into him, so I don't really know.
If I want to get my Heroes of the Storm fix, I just go watch www.twitch.tv/Wicked Kitten 13.
Yeah. Wicked Kitten, depending on time of day, you got Kyle Ferguson, who's always fun to watch. There's others.
Just stick with Wicked Kitten, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're up during this time of day for our show live, Wicked Kitten's probably the way to go, just because,
Theory, I don't even recall you playing much Heroes of the Storm unless there was a WoW in-game item that you wanted that was a reward spinning off of that.
That was pretty much
it. You are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, he played Illidan for a few games at early on.
I played Illidan. I played the warrior dwarf. I don't remember his name. I played Muradin. Yeah. I mean, the game was okay. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. But I mean, it doesn't mean I don't empathize with the folks that are upset about what's happened to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was never really my game.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of like with StarCraft. A lot of people don't care for it. I not as much as I used to. I still watch some of the tournaments from time to time. I did watch the World Championship thing. I didn't get to see it when it happened. I was busy watching other things, but
Yeah, you're watching people that can digitally juggle 100 balls at once, where I get confused at about 6.
let's be fair. You get confused at about 2.
Whatever.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that everyone has their own games that they like and don't like, or follow and don't follow, and that's fine.
The one thing I would say is that KO's update was well received, from what I could tell, as far as people thought that it was overwhelmingly either neutral to positive. So that's an encouraging sign.
Yeah. So, not dead game despite all the stuff.
Turn my mic up.
Yeah.
Let me look.
But anyway, speaking of games that some people like and others can't stand,
Test.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, a bit. It'll work. Galv, there's a card game out there that I know you still play from time to time, at least more than I do, and I know more than Theory does.
Uno.
Skip 4.
Go Fish.
Texas Hold'em.
I do. You know what? Actually, my girlfriend and I were up at the casino in Danbury on a snowmobile trip where there was no snow. And that's the second time we've been there. And when the two of us sit down at the blackjack tables, we do all right. So I do like me some blackjack.
Wait.
I don't.
Sidetrack here. Total tangent. Why would you go snowmobiling on a snowmobiling trip when there's no snow?
That's information we don't want to have on a PG-13-ish show.
No.
Wait, you were talking about tips.
Stuff,
he was
right?
talking about bottoms, and then he was talking about juggling 100 balls. Come on.
So,
this is totally PG. What's up with the snowmobile?
Here's the problem is you get your buddies that can go snowmobiling and you all take off at the same time from work to make the weekend happen, right? It's in the middle of the winter. You figure it's going to be great. And then for whatever reason, there's just a drought of snow. And so all you get are some frozen lakes to scoot around on and whatever's left over that hasn't evaporated. So it kind of sucks. Now we're getting all the snow, but no one has the time to take off because of work and stuff. So that's the kind of,
So I live in Florida, and it gets to about 40 degrees here, and everyone freaks out. I have not seen frozen anything on the ground in a really long time. So the fact that you got to ride around on a frozen lake is pretty cool.
It was pretty good. It was my first time snowmobiling. So they're big snowmobilers, and I had not ridden before. And I will tell you, when this little machine under you can almost pop a wheelie when you hit the throttle real hard, 310 pounds, man. And it's like, I don't care. We're going like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. It's crazy. So, anywho, back to Draven's question. And I like Hearthstone. And Hearthstone had a big throwback this week to the old Blood Plague in the Tavern.
Zogurub. Yeah, Zogurub. That's where it came from.
This, if you've never heard of this before, hopefully our audience is familiar with it. There was a boss mechanic which put a highly contagious dot on that was the Blood Plague. And unintentionally or intentionally, or however it happened, someone warped out of the raid back with their Hearthstone while they were still affected by this. And there were epidemic deaths across Azeroth where entire cities were being wiped out and people were leaving and coming and going and spreading it to other capital cities by accident, where the CDC even studied these events as examples of highly contagious situations. So I got to look at some footage of this week. I hadn't been able to play it myself yet, but it is pretty disgusting. You get tagged by this Blood Plague, and it multiplies back into your draw deck. And if you do it right, I mean, you basically cripple the opponent, and they bleed and burst out contagious blood that affects their cards, and then they die very quickly in a spectacular, ugly way. Go Google it; it's amazing. You're like, no way, and you're just watching the effect roll over and over and over again, and the guy's like, I can't do anything. I'm just dying here, and then they're dead. So anyway, it was a good throwback.
Yeah, I know that other people can get this one card, the Hakar, I think is how you say his name, card in Hearthstone by playing other people that have it and that use it. So much like Cho'Gall, whenever he first came out, you just got to play people that, or play with or against people that have it, and more people will get it. So, as much as I really don't care about Hearthstone anymore, I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Just one, it was Hakar, and he's always fun. But yeah, the way they're promoting it as the new Blood Plague, I'm just like, can we have another one of those in WoW? Because I would love to level my hunter just for that reason. Get the plague on a pet, put the pet away, take it to town, and let it run wild there.
Draven, you're forgetting about how that worked when it happened.
Well, yeah, it's different
if you
now.
did that in WoW right now, everyone would be pissed. They'd be yelling at Blizzard. It'd be funny for about half an hour. And then literally everyone who's missing raid because they can't res long enough to get to the raid would be literally cursing out Blizzard on the forums way worse than usual.
I'm aware that there are downsides, but that's a half an hour of my own personal enjoyment that could never be duplicated ever again. It would suck for everyone else, yes, so I know that's not going to happen.
The only way that it happened is if they had an accident and screwed something up, which the way things are going,
Well, technically speaking, that's how it happened the first time. They're just now a lot more careful about it.
Exactly.
You'll never get the same event to happen again, because the first time it was an accident that no one understood or planned on, or if you tried to repeat something that's spontaneous again, it would just fail.
Yeah.
They need a Bob Ross happy accident, or that's never going to happen.
That would be good.
Yeah. Anyone affected by this gets a free item level 370 piece of gear or something. Or whatever the LFR version of the current tier is. They just hand it out as sorry about that. That probably wouldn't help either. That'd be more of a slap in the face. But
people would be angry. I mean, they're already angry, and the game works fine.
Yeah, people are always angry about something. Sometimes it's justified, maybe not to the level that they're angry.
Just be able to, if you get CC'd more than 4 times in a row during an arena or a rated PvP battleground, they unleash the Blood Plague. Just break the broken part even harder.
Yeah, that would be entertaining.
There's something here.
If you get CC'd too much, here's the Blood Plague. Goodbye.
What if the same side, Horde Alliance, is outmanned more than a certain number of weeks, the heavily favored side gets the Blood Plague in order to try to even it out?
Interesting.
It would have to be a very toned down version of it, because it was literally if I remember, it was like a 4 seconds, oh, you're dead, oh, you're dead, oh, you're dead.
Yeah. It was very short, and it was you couldn't cure it. It was just corpses, and the explosion radius is pretty good too. I like it. So rather than give the downside of 400 item level quest, you just murder poison the
kill them all.
side.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you die? I don't know. I just spontaneously blew up.
I think we don't
have the Thanos effect.
Yeah. Oh, everyone turns that would be great. What happened? Just you get a little text bar at the bottom. Thanos snapped his fingers. You didn't survive. Prepare your respawn in.
That may cost them some money.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'd probably have to rename it something else. N'Zoth noticed you. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah. N'Zoth snapped his tentacle.
Wow, I'm trying to think of something that could analog that, where instead of repairing your armor with gold, it you just, because of the plague or whatever it was, your armor was unrepairable without like a certain token or alternate currency or something like that.
That's called bleach. Oh, you remember all that transmog gear? Yeah, you can't transmog that anymore.
Dang.
Anyway,
Well,
we've gone way off topic on that one, but yeah.
That's
Lots
your
of fun
news on
ideas.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I kept it short, and then you guys got lots of extra funsies in there.
Oh yeah, a couple good ideas, some not as much.
Nothing's better than the Swedish fish mount so far, Theory. So you're
Yeah, Swedish fish. Swedish chefs, Swedish fish. Anyway, speaking of strange combinations, Overwatch League got its first official non-alcoholic sponsor as a whole. Yay! Kind of. I'm glad that they got a big name sponsor like this, but I'm not as happy with who it is.
What?
Why would you not be happy with Coca-Cola?
Yeah, that's one of the best brands in the world. Top.
As he takes a drink.
I
from his
have
2 liter
no
Pepsi.
idea why I would be upset at it being Coca-Cola.
Well, I'm just saying that when you look at the most iconic brands on the planet, Coca-Cola is in the top 3 every time. Pepsi is not.
I'm happy that they got a big sponsor like that. My issue is, and admittedly, I'm probably not going to be able to go to BlizzCon. Coca-Cola is now the official soft drink for BlizzCon because the contract lasts up through BlizzCon, which means there's no Pepsi there, and that's the soda of my choice.
I'll take Dr. Pepper.
I mean, some people like Coke, that's fine. Some people like Pepsi, that's fine. Some people don't like either, that's fine too. It's all a matter of taste. So, yay.
The food trucks outside will still have your Pepsi.
That's good.
For $9.99.
Just pack bottles.
You're in California. You're lucky it's not $20.
Yeah.
That's right. Sugar tax them.
Yeah. But either way, yay for the sponsorship thing. It just was one of those. I'd rather it have been
just
something else, just because of personal choice.
I'm interested to see if now the jerseys are going to have a Coca-Cola logo on them or something like that.
Some of them probably will. I don't really have an issue with it.
It could be very classy looking because Coca-Cola has a classy looking label. Like the cursive and whatnot.
Okay, so this is.
I mean, if you're going to sell out, you might as well be classy.
So this is what they're going to do. The original set of people, their jerseys are going to have the original Coke logo. Okay. The expansion ones are going to have new Coke, and then next year they're going to have classic Coke.
Okay.
And hold on. And if you're the Florida Mayhem, you have Coke Zero because that's how many games you're going to win.
So, but
that'd be Shanghai, but yeah.
They're going to pan to the team, like the Philadelphia Fusion, who's got the Coca-Cola, right? And then they'll pan over to like the Shanghai Dragons, who's got like caffeine-free Coca-Cola, and they're all just asleep on their keyboard.
That was. I wasn't planning on going this direction with it, but now I'm kind of okay with it just because of the logo thing. I still would have preferred Pepsi because that's what I prefer.
Sure.
But as I'm not.
Well, the obvious choice would have been Mountain Dew, which is Pepsi, but that would have been the obvious choice. Mm-hmm. So it's from what Galv said, Coca-Cola is a much more worldwide known name, but from a gamer standpoint, Mountain Dew is the name.
Or some energy drink, but yeah.
Yeah, like a Monster.
I mean, they could have gone Monster, but doesn't Coca-Cola own Monster? I'm pretty sure that.
That may be the case. I know they own one of the energy drink franchises, but I don't remember which one.
Coke owns one, Pepsi owns one. Same with water. Coke owns one, Pepsi owns the other.
Coca-Cola does own Monster.
Yeah. So they can still use it for Monster. Put Monster on their things. Yeah, Monster. Sure. I'm not a huge fan of energy drinks either way. So.
They don't own all of it though. They own like 17% of monster,
Right.
which is weird.
Getting back to the significance of this, aside from personal preferences, if you were nervous at all after the HOTS League announcement about how the health of the Overwatch League would be, picking up Coca-Cola as a sponsor is about as good a news as I think you could ever get as far as an indication of interest in health in the league. So
Yeah, it pretty much does guarantee you at least 1 year
Yeah.
of continued PvP. 100%.
Yeah, it's one more year of Overwatch League at a bare minimum, which is nice because
bring it.
I don't get motion sick from it anymore. So that's always plus. I know whenever it first started, I
You've been
was
taking Dravamine?
bad. No, it's just whenever I first started watching like the high level Overwatch people, I was getting motion sick. I could only watch a few minutes at a time. And then it just eventually just started wearing off where I was okay again. Like I could play it no problem. It was just watching it was causing it and making me nauseous and stuff. So. But now it's fine. I can watch an entire match and set and all that. No biggie. But yay, sponsorship. We like sponsors. If you want to sponsor us.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's another time.
You can watch Draven chug 2 liters of Pepsi.
Yeah, I'm giving you free advertisement. Give me money. Or just give me a free Pepsi.
Water here.
Yeah. I usually have water. That's what I had on hand.
See, you guys are going the wrong way. I have a Taco Bell cup with Mountain Dew in it.
Yes.
So it's a two for one.
Yeah.
Yep. Taco Bell
With the Ford T-shirt.
There
Mm-hmm.
you go. Taco Bell recently had an excellent commercial, by the way.
I've got a Loot Crate T-shirt. Does that count? Hi, Loot Crate.
Let me just check to see how my health is going right here with my.
I don't really have anything nearby that I could use as a fake sellout moment. I'm looking. I was like, I don't really have anything. Here, I have a mouse. I've got a Deadpool.
There you go, monster drink. There you go.
Here,
he's chugging it.
I've
Galv.
got.
Yep, I was expecting it.
Here,
I'm ready.
Old school.
It's a fob.
Authenticator.
Oh yeah.
Get your authenticators. A lot harder to get hacked.
Doesn't work.
It still works. Yep, it still works. I'm not going to show you the numbers on it, but.
Could you pass me a Coca-Cola? Of course I can.
She doesn't drink Coke. What are you? She'd be Monster or, Mountain Dew at the very least. Anyway, moving on.
Who's got the Coke? You need to switch to Diet Coke.
Gal was playing with his toys.
No, sir! I didn't see you playing with your toys again, sir!
That was great.
This moment brought to you by Spaceballs the movie. For more information, please go to somewhere
God
else.
willing, we'll all meet in the sequel. Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. All right.
Wow.
Anyway, we do have some WoW stuff. So we should probably talk about that. That way we can try to keep Galv.
Theory will give a shit about this category. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I gave a shit about all of them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Great. This is the one you've been playing the most, though.
Yeah.
Unless you do a segment on Fork Knife.
No.
That's for a different podcast.
That'll be for a different podcast, one that I'm not on. But anyway, up first, the Valentine's Day event is coming up here in a few days. I think Tuesday, actually.
Do you even need us to comment on this? Isn't this like your legacy?
At this point, unless they put out a new Hearthstone for the event, I'm not planning on running it at all.
What did you say?
I'm not running it this year unless they put out
a new Hearthstone for it.
Yeah, every event since Halloween has had its own Hearthstone animation. Like the Halloween one, you put a pumpkin on your head, and whenever your Hearthstone completes, you get the
Got it.
horseman laugh.
Okay.
Wait a second. How do I not know about?
You should know because you did a 24-hour stream, and I just happened to be in the same area as you, and I used that Hearthstone, and you're like, of course you have something cool for a Hearthstone.
I must have been drunk off of no sleep because I do not remember.
Yeah, but there's been that one. There's a Winter Veil one. The Lunar Festival one is currently going, but they seem to be doing these new animations and stuff. So I'll see what it looks like, and depending on what it looks like, if there is one, that'll be why I would run it. But otherwise, yet another year that finally I don't have to run this one, which is why I don't have 19 to however many 120s. Because up until this week, we didn't know what the level that you had to be was to even have a chance at the rocket mount.
That's right. They updated it, didn't they?
They updated it. Usually, 50-50, it's been within one expansion and 2 levels. So it would have been 12 levels for the last couple, and then for a while it was only 7. This year, it's 10 levels. So you have to be 110, which is max level Legion. That's fine. Easy enough. That means all the alts that I didn't level this expansion, I could have went and farmed anyway. But I don't need to. No, I don't need to anymore. So I'm like, yay. So yeah, 110 to have a chance at the mount. If you're so inclined to spend many runs trying to get it and being disappointed 1,313 times.
How upset would you be if they added bad luck protection for everyone who's killed the boss, hundreds of times to make it easier for them to get?
I would invent a time machine, go back in time to get the blood plague, log that character out, and never touch it again until now, and release it now.
Okay.
Seems like an appropriate response.
But I would not do it on one toon. I would have an army of hunters. So as soon as it gets cleared up, next one. And it would be both Horde and Alliance side.
Too bad, because Dalaran from Legion would have been the place to drop.
Well, anytime you have one hub for both factions, yeah. But it's still fairly busy out there, too, because a lot of people are still running the Legion stuff. Because of the Paragon mounts and stuff.
Plus, the Dalaran Stone is a great get-out-of-jail-free card, if your Hearthstone's on cooldown for a lot of classes.
Yeah, I don't really need it. But I play a Paladin, so...
Yeah, you've got talents for bubble hearthing, so...
Yeah, I have a macro for in raid. Last pull, we're going to wipe. Boom.
Except for the nights where he's mad at us, and then he breaks the fight and makes it so that none of us can release or Hearthstone or leave the raid, and we all just have to sit there and watch him take it from the boss for 15 minutes until he logs himself.
Until it logs me out, because I had already logged out at that point, and I couldn't get back because I had to log into another character. And then you said, okay, you finally died.
I didn't sound bitter, did I?
No.
No. Watching Elasan take the wood to him for like 7.5 minutes? No.
Hey, some people have to pay extra for that. I just have to bubble hearth.
You didn't even have to watch it. You were off doing something else with the program closed. The rest of us are sitting there like...
I watched a few minutes of it.
What is she? Oh, she went back in time to do it again. Oh!
So I knew it was... At that point, I knew it was broken as soon as I couldn't get off the horse. I couldn't disable bubble. I couldn't manually do any of it. It wouldn't let me. At that point, I knew you were either going to kill the fight and it would not be a problem, or you were going to wipe and it was going to take forever. And I was like, yeah, guys, I'm broke. So that's always fun. I haven't found a way to physically break a game like that this expansion yet. I have had a graphical bug, but at least that's what I'm presuming it was.
You've had a couple of minor things, but nothing.
Yeah, nothing that broke the game. I had the Jaina debuff tick up whenever I wasn't near people, which is kind of a mythic only thing. But I think that was just a UI issue. But anyway, 110 plus for the mount.
That's good. I looked. I don't
Mhm.
have it yet, so
No.
I'm not gonna obsessively farm it, but I might throw a couple of characters at it. See if I don't get lucky.
The loot is probably, they haven't told us what eye level the trinkets are going to be, but it's probably going to be, it was 340, probably about 350, maybe 370 if we're lucky. They're usually like,
Probably 355, I bet.
yeah, it's usually like normal of the tier before. Just as here's a quick catch up to help you out while you're giving up.
Yeah, nothing that'll give you an advantage in a competitive scenario.
Yeah.
Decent for the
Yeah, it'll help you gear up, but not enough.
Yeah. Up next, the Arena World Championship is ongoing. Actually, if I want to be technical, the Season 1 Spring Cup Grand Finals are live now. I'm going to refresh the page here just to be 100% sure. Grand Finals, Super Frogs versus quote unquote the boys.
AWC Spring Cup.
Yeah, I was just making sure it's still live and not over.
Sounds like you guys are playing Mario Kart, but yeah.
Yeah. So Grand Finals are actually on right now. So as soon as we're done, head over there and check out the finals of the arenas. And then they'll do the next cup shortly here in a few weeks.
Storm is number 1 on the ranks right now in America.
So speaking of championships and stuff like that, in case you were confused by our one-time use only video for the intro this week, Method got world first on Jaina Mythic.
It was a really good pull.
Oh yeah,
It was awesome.
I watched way more of the Mythic of them streaming than I normally watch much of anything else. It was like, am I awake? Is it on? Okay, that's what's on. With very little exception. Like every now and then I'd have something else on, but it was almost always on. I was one of those people who could say I was there and actually be meaning it because I saw it happen.
When we were gearing up to take out Jaina, I asked Theory, hey, have you studied this fight at all? And Theory, what was your response?
I've watched Method wipe to it for about an hour.
Apparently, that's all you need, right?
And then they went and decided to go do a Battlefront, Warfront instead of continuing, which I found interesting. And
at that point, they were just like, we need just more gear, or we're just not geared enough for it. So they were doing whatever they could to.
And they didn't think there was any chance that Limit was going to beat him at that point. So they were willing to take the risk. But then I heard that Limit got a really good pull and almost caught him. They were in the single digits while they were in the war.
Yeah. It was an entertaining race. I'm really hoping that more guilds will start streaming just because it'll be more fun to have, like, even if they don't do like the side-by-side stream, the multi-twitch as they call it, having more than one of them up at a time would be great just to see, okay, they're doing this way. Oh, okay, this other group's doing it this way. And then in my case, what my brain does, be like, I'm going to translate that into, okay, which one of these will our group be able to screw up less? And
so I got a question for you too, Draven. So I assume, because from what I remember, both of you have seen Method's stream of the World First race last time around. I
didn't see a whole lot of the Gahoon, just because of real life stuff.
I mean,
but I saw
since they
bits and
advertised
pieces.
They were going to do it. You caught some of that, right?
I've been trying to watch as much as possible just to add that one tick to the viewer count.
I felt like, and my impression was that the polish this time around way nicer.
Oh yeah, they up, and they even said it. It was like everything about their production quality, everything was way better this time. Next one, presuming, I don't know if they're going to do the 2-boss raid because it's 2 bosses, and honestly, they're figuring it's not going to even have a chance at World First by the time they can even open the door. unless it's same as the expansion where everyone gets the raid at the exact same time. Because it's 2 bosses, so unless it's like severely overtuned, methods like we probably don't even have a chance at it because NA gets it first.
Theory, did you like this race's podcasting better or streaming?
To me, it seemed very similar. They had more people streaming. They had over 100K viewers between the large streams that they were doing, like SCO and a few of the other guys, and then the main method stream. It was good. The problem that I really saw in it, which might not really be a problem, but the thing that bothered me is there was a lot of downtime. There was a lot of time like where SCO was on the mic because they still did block some communications from the stream. So like their comms were not really being streamed, even though they were on the video, the kill video. Which makes sense because there's still some strategy involved in it. Would be nice if that wasn't completely blocked, at least partially. I think what might have been cool, especially in the first couple of days where it was still really, really close, is if they just streamed on a delay. Like you can do a stream delay where it's a couple of minutes pretty easily. So what if they streamed on an hour delay? Just so that way they had a little bit more of a buffer or something like that. The problem really is that usually when they're raiding, the U.S. teams are not raiding for a large portion of it because of the time involved. Most of the NA teams all raid in the evening to late night here, which at that point is the middle of the night for them. But we'll see. I mean, I think it was good. They definitely got a lot of viewers. It got a lot of actual press. It was really good. I mean, honestly, and the quality of it was very good too. But it was pretty good last year.
I wanted to point out something when you mentioned the viewership. Overwatch League, with a couple outstanding exceptions where it was like 300,000 for opening night kind of thing, and then the championships, they averaged about 125-ish thousand people watching at a time. But that's only over a couple days. And even then, maybe like 6 hours total. Method was streaming 16 hours a day for a week, and they were averaging those same numbers the entire time, pretty much, overall. And that's just...
was happy with their endorsement.
And that's literally just the Method stream itself. I'm not including SCO stream or anyone else's from Method. It was literally just Method. They had like 85 average, easy, plus theirs. So I'm like, maybe Blizzard should put some more promotion money into the World First race, like they do with Overwatch League. They don't have to be like, watch Method or something. Just be like, hey, World First stream is going on. Just mention it.
Well, I mean, if you look at the people who are streaming the things that are getting the most viewership on Twitch, you'll notice a couple of sponsors that are almost always there, and Red Bull is one of them. Red Bull is a huge sponsor for Ninja. His whole Ninja Dojo gaming room is Red Bull. The Red Bull Gaming Sphere, the events that Fortnite puts on, those are all sponsored by Red Bull and have over 100,000 viewers on almost all of them. So, like, there is a lot of money to be made purely from just hyping this stuff. And I think it'd be very cool if Blizzard would have just have their own, like, this is the race stream and just tapped into some of the other streams when they see cool stuff going on. The Sunday ticket thing for the NFL where it would like switch you to whoever's about to score. Imagine if Blizzard used their guys that they already have to be able to watch these individual teams as they're taking on bosses and just kind of, commentate these fights as they're happening and switch between the different raid teams. That'd be amazing. People would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't...
Not to mention, just a little plug for Ninja. Did you notice he made it onto the Super Bowl commercial with all the NFL players?
Yeah.
That is crazy. Big money to have that spot for the NFL, and Ninja was in there too.
I have never seen Ninja anything. I don't know what he looks like. I'm presuming it's a guy because you guys are saying he, but
yes, it is a guy with very bright colored hair. However, the thing you don't get that Galv isn't really pointing out unless you've seen it, the commercial he was in had all Hall of Fame people.
Yeah.
Like it was probably 30 Hall of Fame football players in it, and Ninja.
Yeah.
and
there
a, and
was
a girl won
Sam.
100. Yeah, what was it? The
Sam.
100.
Oh God, I can't remember her last name, but her first name's Sam, and she's one of the first prospect quarterback girls that
Yes.
started a contact football league in her high school that's now flourishing. So yeah,
Yeah. So like,
it's a
it was
huge
a big
spot.
deal.
No,
Huge
so
spot.
I
Worth a ton
know
of money.
I know Ninja's name because
Yeah,
you can't be on the internet and not at this point here. I've heard of him somehow.
you've probably seen his face, but don't know that it's him
Yeah, I
if you're
probably can't.
associated with him.
I can't match it
Yeah.
up. Um,
So
that being said, I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just was pointing out that everyone's like, "Oh, Ninja this, Ninja that." I'm like, I don't know who that is. Like, I know his name and that's it. And beyond that,
well, the reason
Yeah.
I don't care.
well the reason I was piggybacking that off of what Theory said and what you said is that Blizzard could be tapping into that with this stuff.
Yeah, it
So
definitely could be.
Yeah.
it's ripe. This is the time to hit that. So
Yeah.
So if you talk about viewership a little bit, I mean, Method had over 100,000 viewers easily with between their different streams, almost the entire time they're streaming. Limit, I don't believe streamed. If they did, it wasn't publicized.
They did not stream their progression.
Pieces is third. They did not stream. Fat Shark, yes. I think they had one person streaming. They were fourth. Exorcist came in fifth. I don't think they streamed at all.
They did, just not on Twitch.
AFKR. Gotcha. Okay. AFKR, I'd never even heard of them before. And then Knowles Vattier, I don't know how you say that one. They are the only teams who've actually completed 9 and 9 of this.
Oh, it's updated.
Yep.
So
Yay.
imagine if more than Method were on there, like especially if it was Limit nipping at their heels, and you had professional casters from Blizzard with third-party perspective software they use for comment, being able to just transition through there, and someone in a production setting up the statistics ahead of time, or highlighting. It doesn't even have to be giving away the secrets of the strategy, but those interesting tidbits of which group has a history of this or how long it takes to be there. That they
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah, I would like to see more of them streaming, obviously, but
Yeah, one other quick point on that. Wildcard Gaming, which still hasn't gotten their 9 and 9 yet, and they're currently 9th, were streaming at the same time Method was, and they were pulling in almost 30,000 between a couple of guys that were streaming.
Jeez.
so obviously the interest is there. It's just, it's one of those things where Blizzard decided a while back to kind of not put the, I don't want to say advertising money, but no time into it. Like, it's literally just it's you guys' thing. I'm not asking them to put any real money into it, like what you guys are saying with the let Blizzard have the casters and all that. That'd be great. I would not be opposed to that. But I was thinking more in terms of just awareness of it, like up on the Blizzard launcher, World First race underway. You don't even have to put link to a stream or anything, just that.
Yep.
Or a tweet saying World First, like Halinka tweeted out he was watching it. A couple of the other employees tweeted out they were watching it. But nothing from Blizzard or even the Warcraft account. That's where I was like, just throw a tweet here and there, like, oh, that was a tough one or something.
I see in your notes here, and this is interesting to me. Method world first, and technically world second.
Yep.
Did they accumulate 2 9 of 9 kills, 2 Jaina kills on Mythic before Limit got theirs?
Yeah. So what happened was on Monday before Tuesday's reset, I think, was it Monday or was it Tuesday when Method got the kill?
I think they got it late Monday.
It was late Monday. It was late Monday. So they got their 9 of 9. Yay, before, because Method was like, as soon as Limit gets the reset in the gear, they're going to destroy this.
Mm-hmm.
So they had basically Monday, and that was when they decided it was going to get done. So they got it Monday. Tuesday goes by, Limit still doesn't kill it, Method re-clears. Same group of guys. I mean, there might have been different characters in there, but it was the same group of guys. They just went through and world second. But they don't get credit for world second.
They cleared on Wednesday, though, because their reset wasn't until Wednesday, so there was a day gap.
Yeah. So what they come
Right,
back on Wednesday,
that's what
and
I
then
thought, that Limit have it on Tuesday, I guess.
yeah, and then Limit gets
No, they
the
didn't.
next kill. Yeah, Limit didn't re-clear on Tuesday. They re-cleared. I think they cleared it on Thursday.
Gotcha.
So Method just happened to clear it again before Method before Limit made it through the first time. So it was kind of funny. Everyone's like, I know a couple people, I won't mention any names, where they said that it was kind of bad manners on Method to do that before someone else killed it. I was like, they weren't. They weren't technically intentionally being mean about it. They made a joke on stream like, yeah, we're gonna get world second whenever our reset happens. So they made the joke. It's just kind of a dig at them. But overall, they're now farming gear for the next raid. They're now farming the mount.
Yeah, they should be knocking that thing down as often as they can.
Yeah, so it's not them. I mean, it might be kind of partially bad manners, but it's not the sole reason. It's they're farming gear for all their characters at this point for the next raid.
Well, the comment's kind of competitive and a little bit in poor taste, but you're gonna clear the content. That's not saying it's wrong of them to kill it a second time is silly.
It wasn't
Talk
that
smack about it. Sure.
It wasn't that it was wrong of them to kill it. That wasn't the comment. The comment was it was wrong of them to re-clear it before someone else did. That's what people were saying, and I'm just like, no, yeah, I didn't agree with that. And I just kept my mouth shut on that.
I agree with both of you that that's not poor taste. That's just them getting their game on.
Yeah, now at this point they're on farm mode where they're just going to re-clear it every week because they got to make some money. Because I'm going to skip through the notes a little bit.
Okay.
We'll go out of order, but apparently this World First race put Method into a little bit of debt.
Wow.
And by a little bit, I'm talking like approximately 100 million gold.
So cue the Sarah McLachlan music and the video with all the hungry Method raiders in slow motion. And for as little as 50 cents a day, you too can help feed a Method.
My God. I love reading the comments on these posts.
Okay.
Where people are like, how do you even get in debt? Are there like lenders at the banks that we don't know about?
It's the gold farming guilds is what happened and stuff like that.
Right.
But I just went and looked, presuming it's 100 million gold in debt, and also presuming it's approximately 120,000 to buy a token. 834 tokens would be how many tokens you'd have to buy. It's how many tokens they bought with gold, basically.
Okay, what's that number times 20?
There's someone in here for US. It's $12,339, or for euros, it's 10,856 euros.
Yeah,
So Red Bull can pay for that.
Basically, if the math on this is right, you're looking at $16,666.67.
So some of these notes in here is like, now I didn't know this was a thing, the Gallywix farm boosting community. So there's groups of guilds, the Gold Farm guilds is what Theory called them, that have that capacity.
What I called them, actually, but yeah.
Or what you called them, Draven. Sorry. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, between that, they emptied out the auction houses of BOEs just so they could trade things to funnel the gear to the characters they wanted, and mats and all that. Just to round it up, $17,000 in debt from this World First race. I'm sure, in all honesty, it's probably not an issue. They'll probably be able to, just between their sponsors and the fact that they're going to be playing anyway, they're going to make the money back, and it'll be fine. They'll be back next time. But this seems to be one of those aberration type situations, because we didn't hear about this level of debt last tier or any tier prior.
So this number is supposed to be for the guild. The guild is this much in debt. It's not the individual players. There was a conversation that one of the main raid leaders for Method, I forget his name, but he's a healer, was talking about how they geared up during Heroic Week. and there's a video on YouTube about it. If you search it, you'll find it. And they were doing up to 6 clears of certain bosses per armor type on the week beforehand, and most of this was not to get gear. It was to get locked to an item level so that you could pass gear later. Now, during those re-gears, they I'm sure ran into a few like BOAs and things like this too. But the whole point of them doing this was not to make gold. It was literally to be ready and willing to say A character got this drop, give it to C character because they need it for progression. And that's
around the master looter issue.
Exactly. So like the whole thing that Blizzard did as far as changing master looter and changing the way that people would grind, for them, they made it worse. They still got around it. But you would think that because of the fact they ran it so much that a lot of that gold get paid back. But really, when you think of just purely financial, SCO's subs alone during the race will more than pay for that money. Now, will he turn around and use that money to get the guild back to being solvent? Who knows? Probably not. Maybe he'll probably put something into it. But just, I'm not even talking about his donations, just his subs that he got, which was somewhere around 4,000 during that time, is going to be more than what they would go into debt if they were going to buy it all out with coins. But that's not going to happen. People are going to donate gold to the guild.
Yep.
Because it's Method.
Yep.
Oh, here's 10,000. I mean, if you knew someone from Method right now and you were buddies with them, would you not give them 10,000 gold? Just say here.
Well, I mean, I'd have to be on the same server.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, you'd have to be on EU, but
Yeah.
it's still. I don't really think that that's that much gold when you think about who they are and what they do. Plus, they could earn that gold back giving clears to people, selling runs to people easily in a few weeks.
Would you rather have your 100K back, or do you want a mythic run?
Exactly.
Yeah. That, yeah. So one of the things that interests me is, if you play games like Elite Dangerous, which is a fantastic space odyssey game, like space exploration and trade game, there are guilds geared towards commerce. And I had never considered, outside of what you would think of as like the horror stories you hear from Asia gold farming guilds, that there would be groups of people who organized into guilds for the purposes of farming materials and raising capital for these other things, like economic powerhouses in World of Warcraft that's their thing. That's what they like to do.
We have one of them that are fairly good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a whole guild, but we have a person who is fairly good on the auction house, to the point where they've made enough to buy a second Longboy, as they're called.
Oh, yeah.
So
interesting. I mean, I wonder if that news would spawn more interest in economic guilds.
I'm sure even our little server has at least one.
The difficulty is then you run into the TOS issues, and is this okay? Is this not okay? Or what are we doing with this gold? And there's lots of gray area in there, but there's also lots of skirting the lines that some of these gold making guilds do. Yeah. When you're working with Method, you probably got to keep it pretty much along TOS lines. But when Joe Schmo wants to give you $100 for however much gold, then all of a sudden you're crossing that line.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as long as everything stays as in-game currencies only, aka gold or mats. Yeah, as long as gold is the exchange, whether it is they're giving me gold for mats or I'm lending them mats in exchange for they'll give me this much gold later, kind of thing. As long as it stays in-game currencies, I don't think there's an issue. As long as nobody is like botting to do it.
Right. But if you're in that kind of guild, there's a whole lot of opportunity to do things that would violate TOS.
Yeah. So you just got to be careful on that. But people will take that risk.
It's just
anyway,
an interesting thing that goes along with the race.
Yep. It is what it is.
Speaking of money,
Money.
He is a blast.
Yeah, heirlooms coming up will have different prices. They're going to be cheaper by
about time.
about
Yeah.
25, about 25-30%.
So I remember one night we had Scarlett on with us, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just blew I don't remember some astronomically large amount of gold on maxing out heirlooms."
I want to say it was like 80,000.
I couldn't imagine, because I mean, like, if I get over 100K, it's because I bought a token. I'm always buying mats in the auction house and turning around and
I
making
just
flasks and crap.
I spent 500K earlier on tokens.
You know, next time you can, with Galv and one other co-host, you should think about seeing if Almost Epic, World Killer herself,
Yes.
could join and talk about how she makes gold. That might be a good segment. And then Galv could learn something so that he can have a little bit more gold in his sack.
Well, he'd have to
Right.
log in outside of raid time to do that.
That's a good too. I
So
want to see her with like the 3-foot long pointer from like the 1980s classrooms and the chart graphs
The
behind with,
chalkboard.
yeah. Here's when you buy. Here's when you sell. You know, it's like, yeah, because she kills it. Not
Oh,
only
yeah.
does she know how to make the money market move, but she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was out doing island adventures. Oh, did you need Azurite levels? No, but the stuff sells for like 200 grand." I'm like, "What?" And then when you go and try to follow her example, the market's already bottomed out because she already hit it for like all the big numbers. So, yeah, she's really good.
Yep. But anyway, heirlooms. We're going to get a new one. I believe I'm going to open up the page here just to be 100% sure.
Yeah, there's a new tier.
Yeah, there's a new tier. Yeah, they're
So
going down about
some
30. Yeah, they're going down about 33%.
50%.
Oh, this is the old one.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
that's the adjustment. Yeah, about 50. It depends. I mean, once you get further up, it drops more.
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, there's a few new ones, and you're looking at the high end of 7,500 gold, which, in my opinion, more than they're worth. But at the same time, I probably would spend it to get the extra boost through content that
Well,
I've gone through how many times now?
yeah. So what I see here is these characters that you either pay for a boost, like, hey, boost 120 at some point in the near future, or you cash up like 20 or 40 grand in gold and get all your XP plus heirloom items up to 120.
Yeah, it's pretty much a time factor. You're paying to speed it up, or you're paying to skip entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my case, I've got a class maxed already. So unless they put a new class out, I don't need to worry about a boost. And if they put out a new class, I wouldn't boost that one anyway because I feel that would be just wrong. I want to learn the class, how to do the class, even if I suck at it. I would want to learn how to at least play the class minimally, so that I would be mildly competent in my running world quests and gold farming whenever I decide to do that. But I'm weird.
Theory, opinion.
I agree. I mean, you're right that they're trying to get their money no matter what, whether you want to skip or you want to go fast. Personally, the leveling experience right now from 110 to 120 is really good. So if you already have the character at 110, it's totally not worth it to boost that gear just to get to 120. But if you're leveling it from 1, then yes, I get it. But I also would probably break down and give them $60 so I don't have to level it.
Well, how many? We'll just go with 110 plus. How many of those do you have as an estimate?
15
So you've leveled
approximately.
at least 12 of those. Because
something like
you've
that.
gotten 3 boosts. We've gotten 3 boosts from X-Packs.
But I did buy a couple of boosts as well. So I've
At,
leveled
at least 10.
9-ish,
At
9
least
or
9,
10.
10. Yeah. I've got 19 110 pluses. Admittedly, 6 of those are Demon Hunters. Because they were the
It's a
easiest
lot of
one to
Demon Hunter.
they were the easiest ones to farm the Love Rocket. So I was like, should I level another character or should I level another Demon Hunter? And just get out of the starting zone and be able to do it.
Get out of Dodge, son.
Yeah, so I could get rid of them, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I did put the time into them. I might, just Demon Hunter might just be my army. But
Do they still have a limit on how many Demon Hunters you can have on one server?
I
There's
don't.
a limit?
There was. It was 1.
I don't think I'll have to look. I think I've got 2 on one server at least. I don't
Okay,
know.
because they had it the last Q&A. They allowed you to have, or they said that they're going to very soon allow you to have all 50 of your characters on one server if you wanted to in the near future with an update. But the one caveat to that is about 6 months ago or so when I was trying to make a second Demon Hunter, it wouldn't let me.
I know way back when Death Knights you could only have 1 per server. And there
Yeah,
were
and they
ways
changed
around
that.
it. There were ways around it. It involved faction and server switching. You had
Yeah,
to
and
do
I want to
both.
say that you had to have a character at a certain level before you could do either Demon Hunter or Death Knight at one point. But that changed.
I think 60 for both at the time. Like
Yeah.
you had to be a 60 to get a 55 Death Knight, and then you had to be 60 to get a 98 Demon Hunter. That made no sense.
Those limits seem silly at this point. They should probably just get rid of them.
Well, it's there for just in case you're a new player. They don't want to send you straight to max level stuff or closer to. They want you to at least put a little bit of time in the game before you get a quote-unquote hero class.
Okay, but just make it not per server. Make it per your account. If you level to 60 on your account, then
yeah, I think that's what it is. But
the reason my Blood DK is a Worgen is because when Vex needed a tank at the time I created that character, is because I got to skip all the way to level 50 or 55 at the time. I mean, you do what you do to make your gameplay time worth it.
He meant a Death Knight, not a Worgen.
No, Blood DK. When Worgens were out, I made it a DK Worgen. That was when Worgens were new. So I used a Worgen and made it a Death Knight to get the level boost. If you know what I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for any race for a Death Knight to get the level boost, but
yeah, I think the reason he wanted to Worgen is so that way he'd have an extra sprint because DKs are so slow.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Which currently I have 3, except when they turn me into a troll halfway through the raid and lose one.
You know what? You get the break out of CC effects faster, which is one of the reasons how Method was able to do the Zerg strat. So shush.
Yeah, Double Pony, tell me more.
Hey, whatever works. You know what else works? Being a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Apparently, they're the new solo everything.
Apparently.
I mean, it took, a good 5.5 hours, but a Vengeance Demon Hunter named Iway soloed a plus 11 Atoldazar. A plus 11 was soloed. I can't even find a group to do a plus 10. And then if I get into a group for like a plus 9, they just give up because, we can't get the first boss. Well, that's because this person is in a spec that is not optimal for freaking explosive. This person is doing 3k DPS where the rest of us are a DPS, and the rest of us are doing 13 plus. Maybe if you fix one of those 2 things, we can do it. I'm not bitter.
Not at all.
Yeah. And it is what it is. It happens.
It's super impressive.
Yeah. Anytime anyone solos anything that is current content or like Mythic Gul'dan, I wouldn't say that's soloable either. Like, I know Mythic Xavius isn't. It took... I found a group, it took 4 of us. Because of the mind control effect that happens in there.
Right.
To get him down fast enough. They almost got him, and my DPS was just enough to push it over, and I was on my Demon Hunter. My fresh Demon Hunter at that. So that was fun. What else? We mentioned time walking earlier. Briefly. Warlords time walking, the thing that no one really asked for. Giving it a hard time. Some of the dungeons were okay. They weren't terrible dungeons. It was just there was nothing else to do. So they got a bad rap too. So anyway, time walking is coming up. 2 new mounts. 5,000 tokens each. I don't need to run time walking, and I will get these. Because I have multiple characters with over 5,000.
Wow. Weird brag, but okay.
This means I had way too much time on the last several time walkings overall.
You had way too much time walking on your hands.
So, did you notice that the wolf mount, which is badass looking, by the way, looks very similar to the wolves that are from the original Hellfire Citadel Ramps dungeon that a lot of hunters like to go and tame.
That's very cool.
Yeah. The little fiery ones.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it has little mini megas on its hip. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Iron stars. Got iron stars on both.
Yeah. I still have that pet. I haven't used it in so long, but it's still named Mega.
Same.
So one of the things about those dungeons, I could still go longer and not have gone through them again yet. I felt like I spent way too much time in those dungeons.
Yeah, I would have liked another expansion at least before they put these into time walking, because at this rate, it's going to be literally one expansion back. Like, next expansion, we're going to get the Legion one, which will have an expansion gap. And it's just going to be one expansion. I'd like to have it 2 expansions for a time walking gap, just so a little bit of nostalgia might possibly creep in and not I'm still sick of these. And then chat room Alejandros, who does the Dungeon Fables podcast, go check that out, by the way, is pointing out rep tokens for the Draenor flying for, leveling alts if you haven't gotten it, or mounts if you haven't gotten them, or anything like that.
Let's be real though. Does anybody really want to go back to Draenor so much so they're worried about flying?
I mean, I've already got it. There's only one thing outside of like rare drops that I care about, and I just don't care about it enough to do it. And that's I got to kill like 5,000. Saber kitties.
Yeah,
for the claws.
Fangs.
Yeah, for the claws or fangs or whatever.
Claws or whatever they are.
Yeah, I got to get like 5,000 of them, and I'm just like, I could go do that, or I could do something else. And generally, I pick this something else.
Go solo the mythic version of the last boss. That would be more fun.
Yeah, that would be great, except for can't get there on mythic. At least I haven't been able to, because the first boss with the furnaces on the sides, you have to keep them from dying. Yeah. I can't get them down fast enough because I don't run fast enough. So maybe I'll try it on a Demon Hunter. I have more movement on that one.
You can't move fast enough? What?
I know, 2 horses isn't enough.
Giddy up, pony.
Yeah, if either one of the furnaces dies, the fight's over. So I can't get past that. It's annoying. I'm DPSing. I'm just fine. It's just I'm not dying. It's just the furnaces are dying because I can't get back and forth fast enough.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I feel like as a hunter,
you just got to kill it 4 times, and then you have to skip.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'm trying to solo everything for like gold and stuff. And money.
Ice Crown Challenge here.
Yeah, I'm talking.
There's no prestige.
I want to be able to sell the items and get them from if I don't have them, get them for transmog, and then sell the items for money. I don't I can skip. That's not the issue.
Man, I don't know what it is, but like Shadow Moon Burial Grounds is one of them, and there's just a couple other ones. I'm like, if I didn't have to walk in there for another year or so, I'd be
Spire's
totally
over.
okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
I
not
mean, I
want to do
don't.
Spires over rack.
The train one is the one I don't really care for.
I loved that one.
I just,
Everybody always died.
Yeah, as a tank, that one was actually fun.
I mean, none of them were overall bad. It's just I would have liked more time before them saying, "Here, go back." I'm like, I don't want to go back. I'm sick of them still.
It's like they're like, here, time walk back to Draenor, and everyone's like, hard pass this week.
You might want to give us high level 450 gear. But yeah, I mean, they weren't bad overall.
Oh wow.
But something that is kind of bad in a good way.
Yeah.
I hope you like eyeballs because we're about to have a whole lot of them.
This is pretty good.
Yeah. There is a hat coming in 8.1.5. We're presuming it is from N'Zoth in the quest chain there. We're not going to go into spoils beyond that. But it is basically a turban with an eyeball on it.
It's almost a tiara, actually.
Yeah. If it's what I think it is, only other people who have it will be able to see it.
Really? That'd be kind of like a decoder
Because
ring
there's
on your
a
forehead, huh?
there is it's a buff of some sort, unless it's an actual hat. But there's a buff that only people who have it can see the other people that have it. And I'm really hoping this is part of it because I can tell you right now, you don't even need to inspect me. My characters are going to have it. I'm not taking it off. If I have
I don't have to inspect you, I won't.
I might take it off of one of my characters just because of player like seeing other quests and like stuff like that. But if there's no real consequences to on or off, I'm leaving it on because it looks like an Eye of N'Zoth. I'm in favor of this.
You and your old lord,
Old God
overlords.
Yeah.
Man, you've been pitching so hard for the old gods for like over a year now.
I like during Legion, I was like, oh yeah, Legion, I'm rooting for them. But in all honesty, the old guys are where my loyalties have been for a long time. Legion was just
This is what needs to happen. Hunters have that set with eyeballs on the shoulders and on the belt, and I think it's on the knees.
Gron stalkers.
That's one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need to get Gron stalkers and then have this hat on and just be eyeballs everywhere.
Well, I
Gron
mean,
Stalker
their helmet has a
head
hat.
alone has eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got eyes on it anyway, but yeah, it'd be a different eye. So, I'm looking forward to having it. That's just me.
I love how you started half of your sentences with "I."
Yeah. I.
Aye, old gods.
Yep.
It is pretty slick looking. I do like it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and as chat room is saying, I for one welcome our new old god overlords.
Right?
I've been, Oh, and not in the show notes, but we do finally have confirmation. The Corgi goggles work at the seat of the Pantheon on the Titans. They get turned into corgis. They are not celestial corgis, but they are just corgis. Theory is giving me a weird look. There is an item that was in the game from the anniversary. It was corgi goggles. It turned all friendly characters into a corgi. So you'd have Anduin as a corgi. You'd have all the players in your raid team are corgis.
As long as you have the goggles equipped.
Yeah.
And why would you want this?
Because it's funny.
Watch Anduin drag a flaming ass across a floor.
It's just a goofy thing. But all friendly NPCs, corgi. I kept meaning to go into Taurus to test this, and I just never got around to it. Someone posted screenshots. The Titans got turned into, they're sitting on the floor, not in the chairs, they're on the floor in front of, but they are still labeled as the individual Titans. And they are corgis in there.
I wonder if you did ENR, if she's just like chilling out as a corgi. Instead of, the tree of life.
The tree is not considered a friendly target.
It is a friendly target.
It's not a like a player. Like, it's not an NPC. It is just, it's an object. It's a friendly object. It is not a friendly NPC character type thing.
You get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, I get where you're going with that. But we finally got confirmation that it does work in there. I wish it would have been me that did it. Now I kind of want to go into Oduar and check on Algalon. Because once you finish him off, he becomes friendly. Will it be a celestial corgi?
I think that'd be hilarious. Project for after raids.
That'll be a project for another time, because we've already run longer than the hour and a half that, not by a lot though.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're right there. So anyway,
Did you miss anything?
No, that was all of it. That's all in the notes, and some side stuff that wasn't in the notes. Some of it was yay, some of it was eh, some of it was, I can't believe you just said that. Swedish chef, Swedish fish.
God, yeah, that has to happen. I mean, we're just thinking of ways to get them bailed out of this financial
just throw that in there.
They found themselves in.
Yeah, you got to pay the guy for the voice, but honestly, you'll make that money back faster if you give it a voice. So anyway, with that, we'll call that a show. So, Theory, you are the guest this week. Do you have any shout-outs? How do people get a hold of you online if you so decide to do that kind of thing?
Sure. Shout out to the raid team for welcoming me back with my Jaina kill, even though I haven't killed any of the rest of them. Let's see. I'm still on all the regular places, just not quite as much. Twitter, Gang Theory, YouTube, Gang Theory, Twitch. I can't stream yet. Hopefully, when my internet gets a little bit better, I can start streaming again. Unfortunately, really poor timing. I was just getting going, and nope. So hopefully that will change sometime in the near future. I'll let you know when that happens. Other than that, man, if you're looking for a good raid team, come check us out. Hydro Volunteer Fire Department, which is a member of CTR on the Airy Peak server. Great group of people and some really good players as well. And we have Galv. So if you enjoy Galv, that's the reason to come right there. And if you don't enjoy Galv, we have Howland, who doesn't speak but does talk mad shit about Galv in the chat channel. Which is very entertaining as well. So there's all the reasons you could ever want to come join us and raid with us. And yeah, that's all I got.
And it's not just at Galv or about Galv. He'll do it with anyone who is failing. Like DPS need to not die. Or DPS need to not stand in fire. Howland is great. I really am hoping someday he just goes and gets a mic and actually talks.
Nah, he won't at this point. It's like a novel.
Yeah, at this point, you just don't.
He'll just troll us. Be like, hey, if we one-shot Jaina tonight, I'll go use a mic.
We haven't killed Jaina.
He knows it ain't going to happen. He's just doing it to troll us.
Mm-hmm.
We're to get together at BlizzCon and see Howland there, and he'll be waving him. It's just like...
Keeping my mouth shut on that one.
Right?
For reasons?
People have met Howland already.
Maybe.
I know for a fact people have met Howland. He's even posted vacation pics in our team chat. So
it doesn't mean they're of him.
Posted one vacation pic, which looked very similar to the kind of pictures that come in the frame when you.
Fair enough. Good point.
Anyway, how about you, Galv? Any shout outs, etc., and so forth?
Shouts to the raid teams. So fire department, Theory mentioned, got Jaina down, 9-9 normal, and 2 of 9. Are we up to 3? I'm pretty sure it's 2 of 9 heroic, but we're not done this week. We still have a night left in week 3. So
Yep.
check us out tomorrow night at 9 Central. We'll kick it off a little bit.
And all we have to do is kill the freaking monk faster, so we don't get ported up in the sky.
That's not even a big problem.
Considering it's killed the raid every single time, except for a few of us.
It has wiped us like 3 times.
But we beat it. We killed them. So yeah, we got them.
They're number 3.
Are they?
Yeah, not on heroic.
So, and Vex also got Jaina down this week. Fairly spectacular fashion. Last pull mojo.
2 raid teams, Carry and Galv.
Yeah, sure. So that was very good this week. So that's all I got. You can catch our hijinks, a number of us stream, but twitch.tv/Galvanid or Galvanid online on Twitter. I post a lot of our progress. Not because I'm so much better to watch than other people, but because it's our groups. It's kind of like our what have we done lately? You can go check it out live. So
all right. So before Draven tells his, I just got to give him some props. If you want to watch somebody who's funny, and you want to watch somebody who doesn't care if they make fun of themselves, who's willing to sing at any moment and sometimes play guitar, you should watch Galv. All right, Draven, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, for shout-outs, I will give my shout-outs to anyone who will back me on the team name change of Teldrassil Volunteer Fire Department. I'm still on that kick. It ain't going to happen, I know, but...
That's because the thing burned down. We didn't save it. How do you want to be associated with
Hydro burnt down, too!
It's still there!
So is the tree.
Yeah, but it's alive.
Well, the tree kind of is.
The tree on Mount Hydro is alive. The tree at Teldrassil is like...
Is a painted background.
Right. Everyone's favorite moment at Tom Petty concerts.
There's... I'm just going to leave it there, but yeah, there's reason to believe that the tree is not as dead as people think. But anyway.
I'm for sure the fire department absolutely did not make a difference there.
Yeah. But, yeah. In all seriousness, my shout-out is going to go to, honestly, anyone who has been nice. Just in general.
Okay.
Whether it's been to me or to someone else. There's been a lot of, angry and ragey people, and I'm sick of dealing with it, which is part of why we stopped covering a lot of the quote-unquote bad news. I mean, we'll mention it, but we're not going to go into as much detail as we have been, just because I'm sick of dealing with it. So anyone who's been nice, just, you get a shout-out, because there seems to be a lack of it lately, and I don't like that. As for getting a hold of me on the internet, because if you try to do it in real life, I'm going to look at you weird because you were able to track me down. And then I have a 6-foot-long sword that will like to say hi to you. It's a
find new friends.
I know. I mean, there are exceptions to that rule, but in general, don't try to find me in real life. Finding me online, though, at Draven Dresden over on Twitter is the easiest way. As long as you're polite, nice, civil, whatever, like that, similar verbs and adverbs and adjectives, we can have the conversation. There are some topics that are off limits. Very few of them, though, in comparison to how many there could be. Theory looked like
you realize you just said, "Come at me, bro," and just be nice, in basically the same couple sentences. So that means the show title needs to be "Come at me, bro, just be nice."
That's a good one. I like it.
I think I'm going to stick with the chef's fish. Swedish chef, Swedish fish.
Swedish chef fish mount.
Yeah. Just for the what? Things I gotta say. Let me get to the right screen here. That way I get everything right. We have a Patreon for the show. Patreon.com/podcastepicfail. $1 a month, $2, $5, $15, $20, $50, $1,000, $100, whatever you decide. Either way, I'm going to look at you strangely. I will thank you, but I'm still going to think you're crazy for throwing money. We have a Discord, bit.ly/epicfaildiscord. Come join in. Galv will promote his stream there. We'll have some conversations from time to time.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
Why not? It's a good.
I'll put some ninja pictures so Draven can see what ninja actually looks.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I'll just mute you. It'll be.
He's probably still admin of the damn thing.
No, I'm admin, but yeah, he passed that over a long time ago.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh well.
He's like, I don't want to be in charge of this train wreck. I mean,
I
that might have
think that
actually
might
been
have
his
been a
actual
quote.
words too.
Yeah, I think that was a quote.
Yeah. Normally, I would be required to say that the opening theme song was from bensound.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. This week it wasn't, but I'm still going to give them credit for our usual theme song because it's nice. Plus, I have to do it every other week, so I might as well get in the habit of doing it even when it's not. This week's theme song was the Method World First Kill, in case anyone was confused. So I gave them credit too.
So, did you have to ask, or did they? Is it in the public sphere so you could just use it?
It's public. It was streamed. It was just a clip. It's been on several different places. So yeah, if Method, if you have issues with me, I have no money, so there's no point in suing me.
Good luck.
I was giving you free advertisement anyway. So yeah. So that being said, do either of you have any last words for the show? That'll be the last words.